In recent weeks, local Latino businesses have reported a downturn in business, largely tied to concerns about national immigration policies.
Yeah, 15 years ago, many business leaders signed the Utah Compact because of economic concerns. Deanie Wimmer focuses on that aspect tonight in our series, Immigration 2025, The Dream Divided.
Any analysis of immigration's impact on Utah has to take into account the growing role non-U.S. born workers have on our state's economy.
You see, we need to take a lot of these off if we're ever going to get a big peach.
Peaches, apples, and cherries are starting to blossom here in Santa Quin. At Cherry Hills Farms, pruning and a plan leads to success.
I'm just a farmer, part owner with all my brothers.
And Curtis Rowley's plan doesn't work without the federal H-2A guest worker program, employing these seasonal workers legally, the majority from Mexico.
That's the only way we can get the work done, is through that program.
Both in Santa Quin and in this orchard in Hurricane, all the laborers at Cherry Hill Farms are on H-2A visas. Rowley says the plan is to employ a total of 50 to 60 seasonal workers.
There's just no other alternative for us.
But that alternative isn't an option in many industries, even in other areas of agriculture. For dairy farms, there's nothing similar.
If you have a dairy, there is not a current year-round guest worker program. It doesn't exist.
And perhaps more than any other industry, farmers in America are living on a thin line. Val J. Rigby of the Utah Farm Bureau.
We have a lot of uncertainty when it comes to labor. We need people to do the work. Let's provide a mechanism that we can do that.
We don't have a surplus of labor. We have a shortage of labor in this state. And so that makes immigrant labor even more important.
Original Utah Compact signee Natalie Gochner says workers are essential if Utah is to maintain its lofty position for growth, business, and the economy.
You'll find that immigrant labor is a big part of the construction industry, the road building industry, certainly the agricultural industry.
Central to the Utah Compact is this take on the economy. We acknowledge the economic role immigrants play as workers and taxpayers.
And I think it's incumbent on state leaders to make sure that we recognize the importance of those workers before we take any kind of, strident actions that could hurt our economy.
According to the American Immigrant Council, foreign-born workers make up nearly 12% of Utah's workforce and 19.6% of the construction workforce. A sizable number are undocumented and pay significant dollars in state and local taxes.
And in Utah, we see that undocumented immigrants, population of roughly 92,000 people, paid just over $235 million in state and local revenues in Utah.
Do you think most people would be shocked to hear that?
Yeah, it's oftentimes pretty...
Marco Guzman co-authored a nationwide study on the impact of undocumented workers for the Institute on Taxation and Economic Policy. Its intent to educate people and policymakers.
Undocumented immigrants help the economy in ways that they may not realize, but their impact, should they be deported en masse, will ripple across the country.
Nationally, tax dollars paid by undocumented workers look like this.
About $59 billion to the federal government, about $37 billion of that paid to state and localities.
At Latino-owned businesses throughout the state, the economics of immigration are a daily reality. People have been enjoying Ingrid Santaella's food for 20 years at Sabor Latino in South Salt Lake.
Everybody like it.
And Daniela Acuna loves her mom's cooking too.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's nothing like mother's food, right?
But since the beginning of the year, business has dropped off considerably.
Yeah, everybody's scary. People are scared that things are gonna happen. They're gonna be deported. You just never know.
In recent weeks, things have picked up. But for many in the Latino community, the uncertainty remains.
It's basically everybody's in limbo. The businesses are in limbo because, you don't know if you're going to wake up and your status is going to be taken away.
Though she was born in Venezuela, Daniela is now a U.S. citizen.
I might not be born here, but Utah's my home.
And despite their fears, both she and her mom share pride and optimism.
And my mom has a saying, it's in Spanish, lo buenos somos más. Lo buenos somos más, which just means we the good are more. So like we the good people are more. We're not all criminals. We're hardworking people.
The final principle of the Utah Compact is called a free society, and it focuses on our state's history of inclusion and a place that welcomes people of goodwill. Tomorrow night at 10, Courtney Johns will explore that topic.
All right, Deanie Wimmer reporting for us. Deanie, thanks.